What's your best not safe for work story that happened while at work? In high school, I worked at a very smart pet store. While working there, a new girl started as a cashier. She was in her early 20s, very attractive but a little mousy. One of the jobs for cashiers was to restock the front aisles while business was slow. This included dog toys. While she was stocking one day, business picked up and she had to go back up checking people out. While ringing people out, she noticed everyone was staring at her chest. One after another, men, women, couples. She started getting upset and embarrassed. Finally, a shy, soft-spoken guy comes up and turns beet red. She confronts him. "What? Why is everyone looking at my boobs?" Guy sheepishly raises his hand towards her chest, directly at the sticker that had come from a dog toy that said, "Squeeze me, I squeak."
I got bricked while the nurse was treating me. As the title suggests, while a nurse was treating me, I got bricked up. I was getting a full physical in the early morning. I needed it for school and to play basketball. Nothing out of the ordinary, but an extremely attractive nurse was the one treating me. She was like Kylie Jenner or something. She was so hot. As she was testing for my blood circulation in my upper thighs, I began to doze off and have intimate flashbacks. I was fighting the urge for my manhood to pop up, couldn't help it. Full sprung, and ready to say hello. Worst part is, my hot dog stayed erect for the remainder of the physical. I did my best to show no reaction and she didn't give a reaction. Keeping calm was so hard to do, since I had such a hot nurse in front of me. I don't truly know if she noticed, but when she was done she walked out, and I heard her say something to all the other nurses and then it was followed by some brief laughter. When I was done and walked out, all the nurses were nice and cordial to me. I just wanted to get it off my chest. Hopefully she didn't notice and it won't affect future visits. I don't want to be known as the weirdo who gets hard during physicals. Is this a weird thing to admit? Or should this be now considered a part of what's normal? Let me know in the comments under this thread.
I pounded my teacher and her daughter Kat. When I was a senior in high school, I had a stunning English teacher that was also my advisor. We always had flirty exchanges, and she confided in me about her unhappy marriage. By the time I graduated, she and her husband were separated, and I would do work around her house. That summer, we began spending more time, even sleeping in one bed together. She was very careful and discreet because of her separation and the fact that her 15-year-old daughter lived with her. But I did learn a lot from a woman 20 years older than me. She was not afraid to give instructions in the bedroom. After I went to college, I would still come by when home on breaks. But after a couple of years, she got into a relationship with someone her age. One night, I was at a party with old friends from high school, and ran into my teacher's daughter. She had turned out to be as hot as her mom, and made the point of telling me she was 18. I took the hint. And we eventually ended up being together in one room. She started touching my magic wand as her mother used to do, but she was even better. The she asked to put in there and I did. Then she was saying really weird things, and finally she begged me to nut on her face. Then she asked me with one of her eyes closed and fully covered in nut. "You have to tell me who is better, me or my mother?" Who is better? That's a really good question. Her mother has better kitty cat, but I love her daughter's cherries.
Uber and Lyft drivers, what's your most not safe for work story? While I've had a few crazy rides, my buddies takes the cake. Around 1 a.m. on a Saturday, he gets a ping that's at 200% surge near the bars. He picked up a well-dressed man who's sober, and once he's in the car, he asked to be taken to the casino. He was picked up in Dallas, and the casino is in Oklahoma. Feeling bad, he warned the guy, "Are you sure that's a 70-mile trip and you're on 200% surge?" Guy says it's fine, and he's happy my buddy is getting paid. They enjoy a nice trip and have some normal talk, and once they get to the casino, my buddy ends the ride and netting himself $300. The guy then realizes he doesn't have a ride home, so he makes a deal with my friend. "Look, I'm gonna go gamble for a few hours. If I give you $250 now, will you wait? And when I come back, I'll give you another $250 for waiting and another $500 for the trip back." Buddy agrees and takes a nap until the guy is done. Guy comes back and gives him the cash, and they head back home. During the small talk, the guy says, "Look, you've been great and seem like a stand-up guy. I want to throw another $500 your way if you let me suck your dick." This dude wanted to pay my friend $500 just to suck his dick. When you ask him what happened next, he just laughs and says, "Well, rent was due, and if the worst way to make $500 is pretending a chick is blowing you, then it's not so bad."
How a games night ended with me, seeming on two of my best friends. This story happened a few years back during my third year of university. I'm going to switch up names and some minor details for anonymity, and a warning it might be a little long, but I think it's worth telling, so here I go. My roommate, Ben, asked me to join a co-ed rec volleyball team at the start of the year. Ben was into a girl named Melissa who wanted to play, and needed a wingman. I ended up joining, and about halfway through the year Ben and Melissa started dating. Woohoo! I should mention that I had a long-distance girlfriend at the time who went to a different school. There were 3 other girls that joined the team, and to put it bluntly, they were all incredibly shy. To give you an idea, Jessica was a cute brunette that looked a lot like Alison Brie. Next was Chloe, who might have had the nicest legs and SS on the entire campus, and she was not afraid to flaunt it at games. She'd show up wearing some of the skimpiest and tightest shorts that honestly made it hard to focus on the ball. And lastly, Anna. Anna was incredibly sporty, had beautiful bronze skin, curly dark brown hair, and was by far the biggest flirt of the 3. I had a very secret but large crush on Anna. To give an honest picture of myself, and without trying to sound too egotistical, I would definitely put myself on the more shy/innocent side of things, for both normal life and intimacy life. I am a pretty good-looking guy. I am fairly tall, about 6'2", and am more on the athletic build than bodybuilder type frame. At the time I did a lot of squat/running and ab work, so I had, and still like to somewhat believe I have, pretty defined abs and legs. During the year, and especially after Ben and Melissa started dating, the 6 of us all became great friends and would probably hang out, party/study/watch movies together, close to 3/4 times a week. They really were all my best friends on campus. It's a bit hard to describe, but knowing I had a girlfriend, the 3 single girls, Jessica, Chloe, Anna, loved to F around with me by openly teasing and flirting. It became a bit of a game for them. They would basically try and see who could rile me up the most. It may seem a little cruel, but I secretly loved it, which they all probably knew. Basically, it started off with small comments like telling me that they wished I was single or saying that I was cute or hot. And as the year went on they got a little more loose-lipped, and it gradually built up to more blatant stuff like saying I had a really nice SS and asking to grab it, or Anna lifting up my shirt to get a glimpse and start feeling my abs and telling me how nice they were. Like I said, it slowly built up, and at one point Anna straight up said something like, "Uck, if you were single I would totally F you tonight." Even after one of them would say something like that, the 3 of them would all just start to laugh, while my innocent self would just sit there basically in shock, and we would move on to the next conversation. It was bizarre and it drove me crazy. The height of the teasing came towards the end of the year when we were getting drinks, and out of nowhere Chloe said directly to me, "How big is your PP, Elias? Is it big?" And Anna chimed in with, "Yeah, is it nice? I bet it's nice, isn't it?" Being very unsingle and loyal, I would do my best to laugh it off and try not to react. Which was hard. Right at the end of the year my girlfriend and I broke up. After the breakup, the volleyball crew all continued to get together as normal, and the teasing/flirting never stopped. But here's the thing. None of them ever actually gave me any real opening to F. I really started to believe this was all just a cruel teasing game they'd agreed to play on me. On one of the final nights before the end of year, we all got together for games and drinking games at Anna and Jessica's. Ben and Melissa had gotten really wasted and left for the bar, so it was just myself, Jessica, Anna, and Chloe. I should note that it wasn't unusual for the 4 of us to hang out alone together, so I didn't really have my hopes up that anything into. What is the craziest fun time you've had? I was 24, she was in her early 50s, divorced, single, just wanted to have fun time. She spent half the fun time calling me the wrong name. She kept calling me by the name of Mark. I asked her about it afterwards when she called me by the right name. She was embarrassed and claimed it was just a mistake. We hooked up again the next night and I learned more about her, like the fact that she had a son about my age and his name was Mark. Then I saw a picture and I kind of looked like her son. So in bed that night I started calling her mama to see her reaction, like saying, "Hey there mama," and stuff. And it slipped out again and she called me Mark and I just went for it. Full-blown family obsession. She was imagining having fun time with her son and I let her call me Mark, and I started saying things like, "You feel so good mom." And the crazier the talk, the more she crossed the finish line. Like when I said, "You want me to cross the finish line inside mom?" She literally started a screaming, full body shaking. It was a bit weird, but at that same time she was a very good looking older lady who gave gluck like a pro and loved to have fun times. So I just went with it for a few months of meetups. One fine summer afternoon my husband and I were sitting in the backyard having some drinks, and as one does I was getting a bit frisky. I went in the house to make another pitcher of drinks and came back out in my birthday suit. Husband took the hint and we proceeded to get it on a lawn chair. I was on top of him facing the house when all of a sudden the patio door slides opens and there stands my mother-in-law. Now a normal person would be embarrassed about barging into someone's house and seeing them having sex. Not my mother-in-law. She just stands there laughing her ass off. I jumped up and grabbed the closest thing to cover up with, which happened to be this disgusting kiddie pool we have for the dog. My husband still didn't know what was going on, so he's standing there at full mast, shorts around his ankles, wondering why I'm flopping around trying to roll myself up in the dog pool. Finally he sees his mother puts back on his shorts at light speed and starts laughing at me. I ended up walking through my house wrapped in the dog pool to collect my clothes and get dressed.